Hey guys, welcome to At Home Fitness with Coach A. As you can see, it is day number 172 of the YouTube channel that aims to bring you guys in gym quality coaching and workouts for your at-home and garage gym needs. We started during COVID, the pandemic here, so to speak, in northeastern Ohio and Cleveland, and it is day number 172 since then. Today is Thursday, September 3rd, and we are repeating our second little mini strength component here, maybe skill for some of you guys, as we did yesterday. Yesterday's was a strict eccentric pull-up and the band face pulls. Today is going to be the pistols. So last week, 4 rounds. We either did 4 rounds of 5 each, 10 each, or 15 each pistols with a minute rest in between start and complete, or complete and start the next round. Wanted you guys alternating on those. If we were able to do those, and we were able to pick one of those reps, 2 different things you can do. Preferably, I'd like to see you guys go up in reps if you weren't doing 15. 15 each round, that's going to be 30, that's going to be 120. That's a lot of pistols, so I'm guessing most of you guys probably scaled down from there, especially those of you that I haven't heard about yet, since most people that I have heard from did scale down from there. So either let's increase the reps a little bit, and it doesn't have to be all the way to 15. If you did 10, you can go to 11. Something along those lines. It can be higher quality staying at 10. That is still an improvement, right? If we're doing those reps better than we did before, that is an improvement over even if the capacity hasn't increased, or the total workload, excuse me. So 4 rounds of 5, 10, 15, something in there in that range, each side, and then a minute rest before starting the next one. Obviously, those working components should get a little bit slower. Will take a little longer each of those 4 rounds. Or if we did not have pistols yet, we were doing 10 minutes of practice. If we did 10 minutes of practice, I want you guys to keep practicing unless you feel like you're there from that 10 minutes of practice last week. In which case, you're going to use your 10 minutes to try and make the same kind of progression you did last time, hopefully. If you're not making a progression, I want to know, because I want to be able to help you guys get through this. But the idea is that if, let's say, we started squatting to a very high box in our pistol last time and we were able to work our way down maybe 2-3 inches, then let's start in that position and try and work our way down 3-4 inches. Right? Let's maybe add weight for balance if that's the issue. Let's maybe add something to assist if the mobility is the issue and we can't get there. Maybe prop that heel up a little bit like a Olympic lifting shoe, something along those lines. But small pieces of improvement, if we aren't there yet, don't underestimate that. It will help you guys get there faster than you think. All right, second piece today is going to be the workout. Excuse me, this is challenging. Need to get a little bit of my Coach A cup there. The second piece is going to be the workout. It's going to be 4 time 3 pieces here. We have a buy-in and we have a cash out, and those are an 800-meter run. So you guys are going to run 800, aka half a mile. Then, once you get back to where you're starting, you're going to, and keep in mind this is prescribed for a barbell. So if you want to see what the other movements are going to be to help you guys get through this, stick around, I'll head out in the garage gym and demonstrate those for you. Once you finish the 800, it's going to be 10-to-1 reps of full squat cleans at 135-95. Opposing that, so 10 and then this movement is going to be 1-10 of toe to bar. Kip, strict, doesn't matter. I just want you guys working through that specific motion, utilizing that specific part of your body. So it's going to be 10 full squat cleans, 1 toe to bar. 9 full squat cleans, 2 toe to bar. So the first half of it's kind of crap. The second half's a lot more fun. Once you guys finish that last round, so 1 squat clean and the 10 toe to bar, you're then going to take off for that that cash out, and go for another 800 or half mile run. Now, that whole piece is technically for time, unless you want to separate them and kind of look at them in different components and see how the runs are varying as you go through. That's fine with me. It'd also be maybe an interesting thing to note of your 10-to-1, 1-to-10 time, as that might be something you guys might see again. Stick around if you want to see some explanation demonstration in the garage gym. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so let's go over today's strength / skill piece, which is going to be the pistols, our second repeat of this week from last week. Remember, we're just looking for some steady, consistent progress here. So I'm not necessarily looking for you guys to go from, having to modify and assist last week's pistols to doing rounds of 10 or rounds of 15 or whatever it is this week. All right, I just want steady, consistent progress, keeping it as clean as we can in terms of quality, so you guys aren't going from really good reps one week to really crappy reps the next week because you're pushing it too hard, trying to make too many gains. So as we talked about before, that pistol is a single leg squat. The opposite leg is in front. I squat back and down onto that down leg, trying to keep the foot as flat as I can, hip and knee at least the same line at the bottom, horizontally, parallel to the floor, and then I push back up on that single leg as well, keeping that foot, big key point here, down on the way back up. So the mobility versus strength issues. If we have a mobility issue, what's probably going to happen is we have a couple angles here we're looking at. We have an angle at the ankle, we have an angle at the knee, we have an angle at the hip. And for us to be able to do those pistols, I'm going to set my foot on the bench here so you guys can see this and let me pause. For us to do a pistol, we need to be able to create certain angles at all three of those joints. Well, if I can't create an angle at one of those joints, something's going to go wrong. For example, if I can't do it at the hip, then I'm probably going to be back with most of my body weight from my hips up. If I can't create it at the ankle, then everything's going to kind of fall out of place, and I'm essentially going to go into a hinge position that's more of like a deadlift, right? I'm going to try and stack everything without my knee being able to actually go forward. So those pieces are important. If we need mobility to work on those, then that's something we probably have to do outside of this, or we can do it during the skill time, kind of going back and forth and testing reps and doing some of that mobility. If you need help with that, let me know. It's by all means something I can handle with. If the issue is strength, then really we just need to work on strength through range of motion, okay? So that's where, and not that this wouldn't come into play on a mobility issue, right? Because if we don't have the ankle mobility to go into the right position, we're basically going to fall back, right? So technically, I can do a pistol to a bench and still work on my single leg strength, even though I can't get into position just yet. But usually this range of motion issue is going to have to do with strength. So if I can't get myself all the way down, but I can do it in a good position, then I simply just take the bench, use it to shorten my range of motion so I don't collapse and drop to the bottom of that squat with an ability to come back up, right? All kinds of different ways you can do this. If balance is kind of become the issue for you, you're not necessarily trying to control the position, you could try and counterbalance it possibly by using a ball or a kettlebell or a plate or pretty much anything that weighs something and holding it out in front so that we don't fall back on our feet. Okay, there's all kinds of ways to go through and do that. Again, if it's something you need help with, let me know. I've been coaching pistols for probably almost 10 years and doing them for longer, so it's definitely something I've practiced and used to. Stick around and go over the workout and then talk about workout modifications. Alright guys, to review the workout real quick, we're looking at an 800 meter run, beginning and end. In between, we have kind of a secondary or two ways to look at this. We have a big wad and a mini wad. Okay, so the big wad has the half-mile run at the beginning and the end. The mini wad is what happens in between. Mini wad is going to be an ascending and a descending pyramid scheme, two different movements. So on the squat cleans, barbell is what it's programmed for, 135-95, meaning I'm starting from the ground and ending in a squat coming up. We're looking at 10 to 1. On the toe to bar, feet going up to the bar, we're looking at 1 to 10. Right? So every time you guys finish a round and go back to the cleans, you should have completed 11 total reps in that round. Now, squat cleans, as I said, start from the ground, and in the squat, I'm back up, I'm down, tapping, and back into that clean. The first round, once I hit that 10th clean, I come over to my bar. You guys can kip if you want. I'm up, feet tap for my 1 toe to bar. Okay, so it'll be 10 cleans and 1 toe to bar. Now, as soon as I finish that last round of 1 clean, 10 toes to bar, taking off back out on my 800-meter run. If you're looking at doing different kinds of cardio movements, stick around for the modifications, and I will go over the distances or calories for you.
Stay tuned for movement modifications.
Alright guys, so modifications for the pistols we already went over. It's basically a scale, whether to mobility or strength. Modifications for the workout, however, we have not talked about yet. So 3 different movements here, 3 different things we could have to modify our scale. The first one being that run. So an 800-meter run, correlation, I'll give you the rundown here, it's on the wall in the gym, to the other different apparatus, if you will. An 800-meter run is going to equal a 1,000-meter row for the guys and an 800-meter row for the ladies on an airdyne. So we're talking calories. We're looking at 80 calories for the guys and 56 calories for the ladies. And then on a Concept 2 bike erg, we're looking at 1,600 meters as opposed to 800 meters on Coach Run. All right, so different things there. If we're looking at something else here, needing to modify that run with something body weight that doesn't count in terms of machines, like double unders, jump rope, step ups, lunges, something along those lines, let me know. I'll help you guys come out with an even number modification based on if you're modifying or scaling any part of the rest of the workout. Okay. Now, the other 2 movements we're looking at here are going to be that toe to bar, hanging from the bar. If we have the bar, we can always do the knees, we can always do the strict leg raise. So let me go through and demonstrate those real quick. The knee to elbow or knee to chest would essentially come in that strict or kipping manner. That the toe to bar would come in. If we're kipping, knees are coming up. If we're not kipping, knees are coming up, we just don't have the load on the backside. We can also do a straight-legged L raise. We're essentially keeping ourselves in the same position as a strict toe to bar, but obviously shortening the range of motion there, okay? If you guys can't do that, pop the butts down on the ground. We can do V-ups. We can do those tuck crunches, hollow to crunch, or just keeping our legs straight all the way back, all the way up for a straight-legged sit-up. Now, if we need to modify the squat clean, I'm gonna go from this explanation in terms of thinking we don't have a barbell at home, okay? So pretty much any piece of equipment you guys have is either squat cleanable or can be turned into a pretty easy modification, right? An obvious one here is a med ball, which we can basically just do a squat clean. If we're looking at dumbbells, kettlebells, so of the single variety, so whether it's a kettlebell or a dumbbell, I'm probably gonna come down, tap the ground inside, and go into my squat clean. If I'm looking at 2, whether we're talking dumbbells or kettlebells, I'm probably going to tap the ground outside and go into my squat clean. Now, for somebody that's just looking at having a band, I would prefer and suggest that you guys break that squat clean up into 2 separate movements, okay? A hinge movement and a squat movement. So there's a couple different ways of doing this. The hinge movement can be a deadlift from under the feet. It can be a good morning that goes under the feet and comes up on the traps. We can then drop the bar or the band, down on the shoulders and do a back squat, or set that band on the front side of the shoulders and do a front squat. You can also combine this, maybe that hinge pattern, with a light goblet squat of some kind or an air squat. Really, the option's up to you. Also take into consideration what weight you guys would do if you had a barbell. If that weight's something that's super light, then we don't really need to upgrade the reps for using a band, especially if it's a smaller band. Now, if you're gonna do this normally RX, so as prescribed with 135 and 95, and you only have a small band, then yes, maybe I would increase the reps on the band a little bit, possibly to a 20, 18, 16, 14 down to 2, as opposed to those 10. So just double the reps, something along those lines. Any other questions, feel free to let me know. Any other needs you guys are looking for, I'm happy to help. Nutrition, programming, coaching, whatever.